Hi everyone, welcome back to Daily English Talk. Today we're starting a brand new conversation lesson, and it's all about something every human on this planet does, moving from one place to another. Yes, we're talking about transportation.
Absolutely. Transportation is one of the most useful topics for English learners because people talk about it every single day. How they go to work, how long their commute is, what bus they take, what time the train arrives. These are everyday conversations.
Right. And the funny part is, even though it's a simple topic, it gives you so many chances to use natural English expressions. So, let's start our podcast the usual way, Jack. How did you get here today?
Today was actually different from my usual routine. I normally take the bus, but this morning I felt a little tired. So I booked an Uber. I just didn't feel like waiting at the bus stop.
Oh, really? How long did the Uber take?
Pretty fast. The driver arrived in 3 minutes. The ride was smooth, the roads are quiet, and it felt comfortable. I listened to a podcast on the way here, so it was kind of relaxing.
Nice. I always enjoy ride-sharing apps when I'm in a rush. You don't have to worry about parking or checking the bus schedule or switching trains. You just sit and go.
Exactly. But it can get expensive if you use it too often.
True. So today I didn't take a car or a bus. I took the tram. I rarely use it, but today I wanted to try something different.
Oh, wow. The tram? How was the ride?
Honestly, really nice. It wasn't crowded, the view was great, and I got a seat immediately. I love watching the city through the tram window. It feels like slow travel, you know?
Yes, very true. Trams and trains give you that calm feeling because they're smooth and steady.
Before we go deeper, let's start with the simplest form of transportation, walking. Many English learners don't know how to talk about distances naturally.
Yes, people often say, I go by walk, which is incorrect. The natural phrases are,
I walked to work. I came on foot. It's within walking distance. It's a short walk from here. It takes about 10 minutes on foot.
Absolutely. And sometimes people ask, is it walkable? How far is it by foot? These expressions are super useful.
and walking is honestly underrated. It's healthy, free, and you don't get stuck in traffic.
I agree. Whenever the distance is less than 20 minutes, I prefer walking. It clears my mind.
Another thing that's becoming really popular is cycling, especially in cities with bike lanes.
Yes, people ride bikes to avoid traffic, save fuel, or stay fit. Let's give listeners some common bike-related phrases. I ride my bike to school. I cycle to the office. I use the bike lane. I need to pump air into my tires. I lock my bike outside the station. I rented a bike from the public bike stand.
And when you're asking someone, you can say, do you bike to work? Is there a bike path?
I think cycling is one of the best ways to move around a busy city. It's fast, cheap, and healthy.
Except in rainy weather.
True, nobody likes cycling when it's raining.
Now let's talk about buses, because they're the most common type of public transportation worldwide.
Yes, and bus English is very practical. Some useful phrases: I catch the bus at 8. I missed my bus. The bus was late. The bus is usually crowded in the morning. I need to top up my bus card. There's no direct bus. I have to transfer.
Good point. Transfer means changing from one bus or train to another.
Exactly. And people often say, which bus should I take? Where is the nearest bus stop? Does this bus go downtown?
I like buses because they let me observe the city. You see different neighborhoods, people, shops, everything.
Yes. Buses give you a whole view of daily city life.
My favorite mode of transportation is the metro. Fast, reliable, and no traffic.
Totally agree. Here are some natural metro phrases. I take the metro to the city center. My stop is 2 stations away. I need to switch lines. The train arrives in 3 minutes. The metro is delayed. The train was packed during rush hour.
I think metros are the backbone of many big cities. They save so much time.
And they're easy to use. Just follow the signs, check the map, and get on the right line.
My only complaint is when there are delays.
Same here. When the train stops between stations, I immediately think, uh-oh, what's happening?
Okay, now let's talk about driving. Many people drive daily, so these phrases are important. I drive to work. My commute takes 30 minutes. I filled up my gas tank. I got stuck in traffic. I took the wrong exit. I need to renew my driver's license. There's no parking available.
And people always ask, how long is your drive? Is the traffic bad today? Where did you park?
Parking is the biggest problem, especially downtown.
Oh, yes. I once spent 20 minutes just looking for a parking spot.
That's so annoying. That's one reason why public transportation is sometimes better.
Ride-sharing apps have changed everything. You don't need to wave your hand at a taxi anymore.
Yes, everything is on your phone. Some natural phrases: I booked a ride. My driver is 5 minutes away. The fare was reasonable. The driver canceled. Traffic increased the price. I shared the ride with another passenger.
Exactly. And many people ask, how much did the ride cost? How long did it take? Was the driver friendly?
One important thing: how to ask someone about their daily commute. You can say, how do you usually get around? Do you take public transport? Do you drive? How long does your commute take? Is it far from your home?
Great. These are the questions native speakers ask normally in conversations. And we can't forget the thing everyone hates: traffic.
Traffic unites people. Everyone can complain about it together.
In English, people often say, traffic was horrible. There was a huge traffic jam. The road was blocked. An accident slowed everything down. It took me forever to get here. Rush hour is crazy.
Yes, rush hour is the time when everyone is leaving home or returning home, and the roads are completely full.
And yes, rush hour really is crazy. Anyway, that was a lot of vocabulary in part 1. But transportation isn't just about how we go somewhere. There's so much more to talk about: safety, problems, giving directions, travel stories, and different types of transport that people use in different countries.
Exactly. So let's dive deeper. Let's start with something very important: transportation safety. Because whether you walk, bike, drive, or take public transport, safety matters everywhere. Jack, what safety concerns do you usually think about when you're commuting?
When I'm driving, the biggest one is visibility. If it's raining or foggy, I drive slowly, and I always check my mirrors. And honestly, I never text while driving. It's one of the most dangerous things people do.
Very true. And in English, we have a lot of natural ways to express safety habits. I always wear a seatbelt. I wait for the pedestrian light. I check both sides before crossing. Cyclists should wear helmets. I avoid driving at night.
Good examples. And when people talk about safety on public transportation, they might say, keep your bag close. Watch your step. Hold the handrail. Be careful when the doors open.
Yes, public transport announcements often say, stand clear of the closing doors. You'll hear that in many cities.
It's interesting how similar safety rules are everywhere in the world, but the way we talk about them is almost the same in English everywhere.
Now let's talk about something many English learners struggle with: giving directions.
Oh yes, this is a big one. People get nervous when someone asks them, "Excuse me, how do I get to the station?" because they don't know what to say naturally.
Exactly. So let's teach some easy phrases. When giving directions, you can say, go straight, turn left, turn right. Keep going for about 5 minutes. It's on your left. It's across the street. It's next to the supermarket.
And when you want to ask for directions, "Excuse me, where is the nearest bus stop? How do I get to the train station? Is it far from here? Can you show me on the map?"
And one very natural phrase is it walkable? Meaning, Can I walk there or is it too far?
I really like that one. Also, people often say, take the second left, or follow this road until you reach the traffic lights.
Yes, that's exactly how native speakers give directions.
Speaking of directions, I remember once I went to a new city, and I didn't know how to get to my hotel. My GPS wasn't working, so I asked a local shopkeeper for help.
What happened?
The guy was super friendly, but he gave me the most complicated directions ever. He said, walk straight until you see a bakery, then go past the fountain, then turn after the big blue house, then walk until you feel the wind change. I was like, what?
Until you feel the wind change? That's not a direction. That's poetry.
Exactly. I was so confused. In the end, I just asked someone else.
That's a good example of why clear directions are important.
Do you have any commuting stories?
Oh, yes. One time I was on a train and it suddenly stopped between stations. The lights flickered, the train shook a little, and everyone looked around nervously. After 2 minutes, the speaker announced, "We are experiencing a minor technical issue." We waited for 15 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's the worst feeling. Being stuck between stations.
But the funny part is, everyone on the train suddenly became friends because we were all suffering together.
Shared pain brings people together.
Speaking of GPS earlier, let's talk about technology. Today, transportation is impossible without apps.
Absolutely. We use apps for everything now. Google Maps for directions, Uber, Careem, Lyft, Bolt for rides, Metro apps for train schedules, bike rental apps, traffic update apps.
And people often say, "Let me check the route. The app says it will take 20 minutes. There's heavy traffic according to Google Maps. My GPS isn't accurate. I booked the ride online."
Technology really makes transportation easier, except when your battery dies.
Yes. Nothing is worse than being outside with 2% battery and no idea how to reach your destination.
All right, now let's talk about problems, because transportation is never perfect.
Oh, yes. So many things can go wrong. Let's list some common issues people face. Traffic jams, missed buses, delayed trains, flat tires, cars breaking down, no parking spaces, road construction, accidents blocking the road, canceled rides, overcrowded trains.
And in English, we describe these problems like this. I missed the last bus. The train got delayed. My car wouldn't start. There's too much traffic. The roads are blocked. I couldn't find parking. My bike tire burst.
And sometimes people say, "I left the house late. I forgot my bus card. I took the wrong bus."
That one is so relatable. Getting on the wrong bus is a nightmare.
Yes. You sit there confidently thinking you're going to the right place, and then you see unfamiliar buildings.
I've noticed something fascinating. Transportation culture is different in every country.
Very true. For example, in Japan, trains are extremely punctual. In India, train stations are busy and full of energy. In Europe, cycling is very common. In the US, many people rely on cars. In Pakistan and Bangladesh, rickshaws and motorbikes are everywhere. In Dubai, the metro is clean and very modern. In London, buses and the underground are iconic.
Yes, every city has its personality when it comes to transportation.
And learning transportation vocabulary helps you travel anywhere confidently.
Now, let's briefly talk about long-distance transportation. Trains, buses, planes.
Good idea. Here are some phrases. I booked a train ticket online. My flight was delayed. The bus ride took 8 hours. I checked in at the airport. The train was nonstop. I had a layover.
And when someone is traveling far, you can ask, how long is the journey? Are you flying or going by road? Do you have a direct train?
Long-distance travel gives you so many things to talk about in English.
And honestly, when the train is too crowded, it becomes exhausting. You can't sit, you can barely move, and sometimes you can't even reach your phone because your hands are stuck.
I know exactly what you mean. That's why I try to travel earlier or later than rush hour. If I go at 7 a.m. or 9 a.m. instead of 8 a.m., the difference is huge.
Yeah, avoiding peak time makes traveling so much easier. But not everyone has that flexibility. Most people have fixed work hours.
True, and that's why so many people look for alternative transportation, like scooters, bicycles, ride-sharing apps, or even walking if the distance isn't too long.
Speaking of walking, I actually walk a lot. If the place is within 20 minutes, I usually prefer to walk instead of taking a bus or taxi.
That's great. Walking is healthy, free, and relaxing. Plus, you get fresh air and some steps in.
Exactly, but not everyone enjoys walking, especially when the weather's bad, like when it's raining or too hot.
Oh, absolutely. Have you ever tried walking in heavy rain because you forgot your umbrella?
Yes, and it was terrible. I arrived completely soaked. My clothes were wet, my shoes were squishy, and I looked like I jumped into a swimming pool.
That's the worst. And then you feel cold for hours.
Yes, after that experience, I always check the weather before leaving my house.
Same. Weather apps are lifesavers. They help you decide whether to walk, take the bus, or grab a taxi.
You know, the type of transportation people choose depends a lot on their situation.
Definitely. For example, students usually prefer buses or the metro because it's cheaper.
Right. Workers often choose public transportation too, especially if they work in big cities where parking is expensive.
Families with small children might use a car more often because it's more comfortable and convenient.
In travelers, people visiting a new city might use taxis, ride-sharing apps, or even rent a car.
Yeah, and sometimes they take tour buses or shuttles because those are easy for sightseeing.
That's true. And nowadays, e-scooters have become popular in many cities. People can rent them for short distances.
Yes, you just scan the QR code, unlock the scooter, ride and park it anywhere allowed.
They save time, especially when you need to travel just 1 or 2 kilometers.
And they're fun too. It feels like you're gliding.
But you need to be careful. Safety is important. Wear a helmet and follow the rules.
Let's also talk about transportation problems because people face so many of them.
Oh, yes. For example, traffic jams are a huge problem almost everywhere.
Traffic jams waste time, increase stress, and sometimes make people late for work or appointments.
Another big problem is unreliable public transportation. Some buses don't come on time. Some trains get delayed.
And when a train is canceled, passengers get stuck and have to find other ways to reach their destination.
Parking problems are also common. Sometimes you drive somewhere and then spend 20 minutes just searching for a parking spot.
Yes, especially in crowded shopping areas or busy markets.
And in some cities, transportation can be expensive. Taxi fares rise during peak hours, and fuel prices are always going up.
A lot of people also complain about safety, pickpocketing on buses or theft in crowded trains.
That's why people try to keep their bags close and their phones in their pockets.
And of course, weather affects transportation too. A rainy day can completely mess up your travel plans.
Right. Roads become slippery, visibility becomes poor, and buses or trains get delayed.
So, Jack, when you need to go somewhere, how do you decide which transportation to use?
Good question. First, I check distance. If it's nearby, I walk. If it's medium distance, I take a bus or scooter.
Same here. And if the place is far, I usually take the train or a taxi.
The second thing I check is weather. If it's raining, I avoid walking or cycling.
Yes, weather changes everything. On a hot day, you might prefer air-conditioned transport.
Then there's time. If I'm in a hurry, I take a taxi or bike sharing because it's faster.
And if you have plenty of time, public transport is cheaper and more relaxing.
Exactly. And finally, I consider cost. Taxis are convenient but not cheap.
So true. Sometimes you need to choose the more budget-friendly option.
Should we teach some helpful English phrases?
Yes, these will help learners talk about transportation in everyday conversations. Asking about transportation. How do you usually get to work? What's the best way to get to the city center? Is there a bus that goes to the airport? How long does the train take? Talking about your travel method. I usually take the bus. I drive because it's more convenient. I prefer walking when the weather is nice. I take the metro during rush hour. Talking about problems. The bus was late. There was so much traffic today. I couldn't find a taxi. The train was canceled. Talking about preferences. I like biking because it's healthy. I don't like crowded buses. I prefer taking a taxi at night. Walking is my favorite way to travel short distances. Let's do a short sample conversation that learners can practice.
Sure. I'll start. How did you get here today?
I took the metro. It was fast, but a little crowded. How about you?
I walked because the weather was nice.
That sounds relaxing.
Yeah, I enjoy walking when I have time.
Before we end, here are some final tips to help you improve your English when talking about transportation. Learn useful vocabulary like bus stop, platform, traffic jam, fare, route, shuttle, commute, and more. Listen to real conversations. This helps you understand natural speed and tone. Practice speaking about your daily travel. Try describing how you get to school, work, or the market. Shadow native speakers to improve your pronunciation and rhythm. Use transportation phrases in your real life. Even simple sentences will help you become more fluent. And remember, transportation vocabulary is important everywhere, whether you're traveling in a new city, asking for directions, or explaining your commute.
So keep practicing, keep learning, and step by step, you'll sound more fluent and comfortable, just like a native speaker.
If you enjoyed this lesson, make sure to like the video.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Mr. English Touch, for more daily conversation practice.
Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new lesson.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Keep improving your English every day.
Goodbye.